Hi everyone. I am a major. In this video, we will look at the internal space division. First, we can in the drawing area, to draw an intelligent box, or create a group or component. Then select the created model. To activate the space division, or press the shortcut key for space segmentation. We can draw. To draw the corresponding parts. Well, here, there is a corresponding inner space. When we click on this class space, it will not show any color, because it is the lowest class space. We can see here, there is a red dotted line. Okay, we put the cursor in this cavity, and slide the mouse from top to bottom, and hold down the left mouse button, and slide the mouse from top to bottom, and a plate can be drawn. This is the gesture function we talked about earlier. We can draw a horizontal plate from left to right. At this time, we click on the corresponding rib space. We can see that the rib space, it will turn red. When we create a model, we need to divide the rib void. Okay, we click here. After the red display appears, we can click. Click on the split here. Click the three-dot icon. A parameter panel for splitting will pop up. We can divide the x-axis, the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis to make a division. If we want to split from top to bottom, it is a height direction, which is the z-axis direction, the blue axis direction. Okay, we can see that the default is, it's 80 mm to 1. Let's keep the default. Here, there are corresponding parts. We also keep the default. Then click, apply. Okay, at this time, it's 80 here, and 1 here. So, it's 80 to 1. Of course, we can see here, the parameter panel that pops up is not the parameter panel for splitting. So we can't operate in it. We can close it. After we close it, then we can click the icon again. Then the parameter segmentation panel, it will pop up. Of course, here, we can see that there is an extra board. Because we just split it, it keeps the default generated board. How can we delete this board? We can go back to the previous layer's inner space. Okay then, click to delete. After deleting, we click this icon again. In this way, the parameter panel for the inner space division will be displayed. Okay, we still use the z-axis direction. If we want to divide it evenly into two parts, the plate here, then it will generate a board in the middle. We click, apply, right, and then the board will be generated. If we don't generate the plate here, don't generate the board. If we generate it here, if we use the application to split the inner space, no plate will be generated here. Of course, we already have a board here. If we click the apply button again, it won't work, okay? So, we must clear this area. We return to the previous level of the space. Then, clear this area. After clearing, and click the icon again. Okay, let's change it here. We'll change it, and divide the inner space into 2. And select no for the board, which means no. Then we click apply. Okay, at this time, we can see that there will be no parts in the middle. Okay, we can go back to the previous level of the tier space. After cleaning, click this icon again. And then we can also split in the x-axis direction. The x-axis direction, which is from left to right, to split from left to right. We still choose 2, and set it to 2. Of course, it can be 3, or 4. Enter any number, and it will be evenly divided. If we have selected a board here, and apply it, it will insert a board in the middle. Okay, we can go back to the previous level. And then, when we split it, if we set a 2 here, there is no board here. And then apply it, it will be divided into 2 empty spaces. In the middle, there is no board. Okay, go back to the previous level and clean up. Well, this is the basic operation of dividing the cavity. The basic operation. That is to say, we can, of course, we can also use the y-axis. It's a front to back direction, okay? Here, if we set it, we just click, apply. Okay then, we can generate. After generating, we can see here, it will generate such a board. Right. It's a front and back. Okay, let's activate the space division. We press the shortcut key. Then we can delete this board. How to delete it? We can select this empty space, and then go back to the previous level. Of course, when we return to the previous level of the inner frame, we can consider pressing the shortcut key. Press the wave shortcut key. We have talked about this in the previous video. We have talked about it. This key, or the dot key, or the equal to sign. Right. It can be used to return to the upper, to go back to the previous level of the inner frame. Okay, let's clean up here. Then we click the icon again. So, we need to achieve an equal division. Operation of dividing the inner space equally. We can enter a corresponding value. Of course, you can also enter a very precise value. For example, we can enter 100 millimeters, 200 millimeters, 300 millimeter to 1. Then this ratio 1 is equivalent to a hole. We can apply it here. We can choose no, or choose the board, or the board. Let's apply it. Okay, we can see this is 1, 2, 3, and this is the one behind. This is the ratio. Okay, we can press the approximate equal sign and return to the previous level of the cavity. Clean it up. Then we can split it again, up and down. We can also enter the corresponding ratio, 1 to 3, and apply it. This one, and this is 3. Such a ratio. Right. Okay, let's clean it up. Okay, we can split it again. Of course, during the process of segmentation, we can also add some variables here. We can add some variables. For its starting point, we can add a corresponding variable, and the endpoint, we can also add a variable. In this way, its starting direction starts from 18. The end variable also ends at 18. Right. In this way, we can achieve more operations. We can do it in the x-axis direction. Okay? And then, we can choose no parts inside. Right. We can achieve this operation, okay? So, this space division is actually a relatively simple operation. Then, in this place, we can also add some common schemes. After adding them, and then it will show up here. In this way, it can improve the efficiency of our segmentation. For example, we select the top split. And then, after selecting the scheme, it will quickly call up such a value. Then we click Apply. Right. Of course, here, we need to switch to its corresponding axis. If we switch it wrong now, we can redo it. Okay, switch to the top, and then select the corresponding segmentation scheme, and apply it. Right. This is 60, and this is 1, okay? Okay, this is what we talked about in this video. Spatial division mentioned in this video. Thank you, all.